The reason you're struggling on defense right now in CFP 26 is you're calling bad plays, or worse, you don't have a complete defensive scheme. Well, luckily for you, I've been labbing this brand new defense from Nickel through 3 Cub, and it's super easy to run. You're not going to miss out on this one because the tips get better as we go along, so let's jump right into it. The first thing any great defense needs is the ability to stop the run. Let me show you the best way to do it here from Nickel through 3 Cub. Alright, so it doesn't really matter the play that you call actually from 3-3 Cub to be able to stop the run. I'm just going to go with Mike Wood 0, right? But all you really need to do is the same thing that I talk about all the time, where you're going to stand 4 yards over the guard right here, and you're just going to loop around. You see how you can just pretty easily meet that guy at the point of attack, simply because, again, you have a great alignment on defense. This isn't like a dime defense where it's like, whoa, there's no one in the box to stop the run. No, you have 5 defensive linemen, and so you're just going to have to do a great job. It's pretty easy to do a great job with your user. Again, loop all the way around, meet that guy at the point of attack, bring him down the backfield. This becomes even more important now with how prominent and how dominant the speed boost is in this game, all right? So again, same thing, loop all the way around. Just going to take some practice, and what I would always recommend you guys do is dive tackle by pressing X on Xbox Square on PlayStation, because essentially you're trying to cut out the legs of the running back and really just make him fall to the ground because of that. So again, stand right here and then loop around, and then we go try to make that play. Now, sometimes your player isn't like necessarily good enough to make the tackle, like his tackling isn't that good, but also make sure you have Heat Seeker Assist turned on in your settings to make this a lot easier. So again, 4 yards over the guard, loop all the way around, and you're going to force him to change his gap. Now, sometimes he will change his gap. I'm playing against the computer right now, so they're kind of doing whatever they want, but you're going to force them to cut back into some of your other defenders, right? And so if you don't want to gap shoot, though, you don't feel comfortable, a lot of time you can just shift your defensive line in one direction, and then that'll allow like a guy to come in free a lot of the time, because again, you see you shift the D line, and now you're going to see if you stand right here, there's going to be a flame icon over the top of one of these rushers. Where do I need to stand? I think I was right here. Yeah, so you see now there's going to be a flame icon over that guy, and so then he's going to just let him come in free. So you can shift your D line if you want to, if you're having a hard time. But I always just like to make this pretty consistent, pretty routine with my user, and come around and make that play. So I would say gap shooting is the most consistent way to stop the run here from 3-3 Cub. It's very important, again, with how prominent the speed boost is. You need to make sure you're looping around, pressing X or square, and making those tackles on the legs of the ball carrier. Alright, being able to stop the run is cool, but if you're not using the best defensive settings, your pass defense is going to be absolutely lost. Let me show you the best settings to use right now. Alright, so when we talk about defensive settings, what are we really talking about here? Alright, we're going to make sure we have auto flip defensive play turned on. This is essentially going to make sure that your slot corner comes out on the same side as the slot receiver, which is going to greatly help your alignment on defense. Alright, cornerback matchups, you need to make sure this is unbalanced. Okay, defensive motion response disabled. This prevents your guys from bumping over or following in zone coverage. So if you're running zone, make sure this is disabled. These first 3 settings have a lot to do with alignment on defense, which is probably the most important part before anything else. All right, you want to make sure that you have your RPO pass key on conservative so that you can focus on pass coverage with your AI, and then leave the run open so that you can just pretty easily make that play with your user. Actually, the same technique that I showed you in the last segment with the gap shooting. So that's really easy and not that hard. Now, zone drops, this is what confuses a ton of people, so make sure you're paying attention. Zone drops, curl flats on 5. The reason why this works is because if you just want to set them and forget them, having these on 5 allows every single coverage to play how you expect it to play and how it should play, right? If you were to put your curl flats on 25 and then like call cover 3, now you're going to have 25-yard flats dropping back, when I know that's not what you want. You want to be able to defend the flat when you have flat defenders. Now, you can change those in the game depending on, what the situation, the down and distance, what type of formation you're playing against, but also having close and pinch is going to help you out a lot too, because you see if we come back into 3-3 Cub, for example, and they go to trips X nasty, well, they're going to have an opportunity a lot of the time to look up the seam, although that was great defense. I really don't even know how he caught that pass, but we're going to go with it again right here, where when they try to look up the seam, there's a safety and a slot corner, or a safety and a linebacker who do a great job of making sure that there's just no room for them to throw this pass, right? They're pretty much just going to be throwing into a sea of defenders. And the reason why you want to have your safeties closer to the line of scrimmage is because they could just wait on this hook curl to stop dropping back. So like he's gonna stop here, right? But like if my safety was standing at the goal line, there would be a window in between those two guys. But they have to throw it early because clearly they have to throw it before the safety. But then there's a linebacker right there as well. So and then the great thing is there's really no downside to using safety depth and close with your width and pinch, because as you're gonna see, right, if we just try to lob this pass over the top, the safety's able to get back there and make that play, right? I mean, it's pretty routine, and it's pretty easy for him to actually be able to get back there and make that play. It's not like he's going to get ran by, which is, I guess, the issue that a lot of people have. Now, you do need to be aware, though, because you're playing college and not Madden, and takeoff is a thing. So if you're playing against a plat takeoff or a gold takeoff, you need to back these guys up, because takeoff will just break your coverage and it'll be a wide open touchdown, or if you're playing against super fast receivers when you have slow DBs. So I would say that's the only time where you need to take this setting off. But you still see how, I mean, like, they take the snap and they try to throw that pass. It's just inaccurate. Yo, this game is honestly wild. Like, I've never really played a game where you can do everything right on defense and still get punished. Like, look at this, bro. What are you doing, dude? But anyway, close and pinch, the best settings to use, along with all the other ones I showed you. They're going to make defense a whole lot easier for you. Alright, if you've enjoyed any of those first two tips in this video, I again encourage you to go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down defensive tips and tricks just like this every single day on CFB 26. You're not going to miss out on any of them. But if you want my full 3-2-6 defensive ebook, which covers this 3-3 Cub and a whole bunch of other formations with full write-ups, videos, screenshots, so that you can save it on your phone and follow along, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. Use code YouTube to get 20% off. I can't wait to help you transform your defense in college football 26. Let's jump right back into it. All right, the next thing that any great defense needs is the ability to get the quarterback on the ground in a hurry. Let me show you the best blitz defense you need to be using right now. All right, and that defense actually is Mike Blitz 0. All right, so we're going to come into Mike Blitz 0. We're going to shift our defensive line to the left right here, and this is the setup that you want to be using. Now, you're going to drop your defensive end into a curl flat or any zone that you want. You can put them in a vert hook if you want. I normally just like to put them in that hard flat or that curl flat assignment, all right? So that's what you want to do with him, because essentially you're just trying to overload this left side. So now what you're going to do is stand directly right here over this center, about 2 yards over his left shoulder, and then you're immediately off the snap going to press the D-pad to the right. Boom, take it, D-pad right, and now you see how so you get a screamer flying in off the edge. The reason why this works is because essentially you're just overloading one side. Right, you have 4 guys on the side where they have 3 blockers. They're super confused, and now you just have a man coming in free off the edge. They're going to have to make adjustments to their pass protection. They're going to have to slow down a little bit, at the line of scrimmage if you start deploying this. This is a defense that no one's really seen, no one's really played against, and so for that reason, it's like, okay, if you use this in a critical situation in the game, you're probably going to be able to get a screamer, right, and just get instant pressure. But you're going to say, BLT, they sent 5 out there. But if they block their running back, it's going to be fine, because like I tell you guys all the time, if you're subscribed and watch any of the videos, running backs have a tough time defending outside linebackers, blocking outside linebackers, blocking safeties, blocking inside linebackers, just because they're way smaller than these guys. So again, we're going to set up the same way. We're going to take the snap, we're going to press D-pad right, and you're going to see how, that's still very routine, very quick pressure. Yes, the running back stepped up to block the guy, but they're blocking now one more guy than we're blitzing, right? But we're still able to just collapse the pocket very well. Again, running back gets punished pretty easily. Sheds are a thing as well to help you out on defense. And so again, the quarterback's on the ground in a hurry. But another thing that will make this defense even better is if you know they're blocking their running back, you can now put your man in a hook curl, still put that man in a curl flat, and now you can just D-pad switch stick up now. Instead of pressing D-pad right like I've been doing, now you're going to press D-pad up. So again, we're going to, do the same thing, have them block their running back right here, and now I'm going to take the snap, immediately press D-pad up, and now we're right here to take away this, and so then we're still able to get pretty quick routine pressure. So it's really just the timing of pressing the D-pad as soon as you possibly can, so that there's no delay, with your rusher. And you see I'm right back into coverage. Everything's taken away nicely down the field. We're taking away the flat if someone decides to run out here. And I'm back over the middle of the field very well to take away this backside dig. So honestly, a really great defense. Again, shift your D-line, drop that man into a hook curl flat. It's optional if you want to put your safety in a hook curl or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But again, we're just going to stand right here, immediately D-pad switch stick, and then you see easy screamer off of that left side. You never want to really blitz off the right, although you could. It's a lot better. I've tested it. It's a lot better when you come off the left side. So really, that's how you set it up. One of the best blitz defenses in the game that no one's really using or talking about right now. Alright, when you load up in your next game, I guarantee you're going to have the ability to stop corner routes if you want any chance of winning. Let me show you the best way to do that. Still here from Nickel 3-3 Cub. Alright, so really what we're going to do now is we're going to be calling cover 4 show 2, alright? We're going to come into our zone drops. Now, this is when I use all 3 of these on default. So that's what I'm talking about, where it's like you're going to have to change them, adjust them throughout the game. So default is really what I want here. Cover 4 show 2, alright? Now, the reason why this works is because it's cover 4 match. It's cover 4 palms. You have a quarter flat. You have two outside zones here, okay? So I'm actually just gonna put my controller down on defense. I'm just gonna hike this ball, and you're gonna see how, I mean, we do a great job on this entire play, but especially that flood concept side, because we're able to pass these routes off so beautifully. I'm not gonna lie, if I'm on offense, I take the snap, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, okay, they're in cover 4, and so now I'm just gonna wait on my tight end corner route. But now, when I start to wait on it, now number 8, the inside quarter, just breaks and is able to just run down and take this away. Our quarter flat does a great job of just latching onto this table route, taking this away, and then you're able to see even on the other side of the field, our backside dig gets double teamed right here by the outside and inside quarters. Our quarter flat sits on their hitch. This is literally textbook defense to defend a flood concept, right? Where again, I didn't have to do a single thing with my user. That's how easy this is, all right? So they're gonna call the play probably again or at some point later in the game, and just to show you for the consistency purposes, it's the same exact thing. That time we force a fumble, we fall on it, and now we have a turnover because we simply box their corner route and force them to hold on the ball, which when that is the case, bad things will happen, all right? So again, I didn't even have to do anything, kind of just put my controller down here, and you're going to see how table route out of the backfield is guarded, corner route is taken away, and then you're also able to see backside dig is, guarded right here. Honestly, just textbook defense, nothing really else to talk about. But I will say this, some people will change up their route concept, right? And so maybe they'll put a drag on the field. Maybe they will, they could really double corner route you. They could do something like this. But even if they did something like this, it's still going to be lockdown defense because it's the same coverage on both sides. So boom, we take the snap. You're able to see how now it's just a different man latching onto that corner route, taking that away, and making it an error throw over the top. And again, if they wanted to, switch it up with a drag, now you would just have to user that drag probably just because it's hard for that man to chase the drag across the field. But regardless, this is textbook lockdown defense to stop corner outs. This works against crossers, posts, anything that's deep and breaks down the field. Once it goes vertical, it has the chance to convert from zone coverage to man coverage, and you're going to be playing great defense because of that. Alright, the topic that kind of gets lost in the sauce a little bit here. Everyone likes to overlook this, but this is how you actually win on defense. You force them to drive the ball down the field, and then you stop them in the red zone. Let me show you the best way to play red zone defense here from this formation. Alright, so if we just put them in a random play, we're going to come into Tampa 2 for us on defense, right? And so here's the thing. This is one of the most popular red zone formations for an offense to call, gun Y-off trips. The most important thing that you have to do when you're in goal-to-go situations or you're in the red zone is stop the run, okay? Including myself, everyone is going to try to run the ball or call RPOs on you when they get this close to the end zone, and the reason for that is just because they're the easiest place to call. It's so tight in the red zone, no one really wants to pass the ball, all right? And so that's why the most important thing is stopping the run, all right? So we're going to just have them call run play. It's the same thing that I told you earlier where we're looping around. All 4 downs, I have the run on radar. I think they're going to run the ball. They have the possibility to run the ball in any single play. And so that's why we're standing, again, 4 yards over the guard on the halfback side. We're waiting until the quarterback has the ball to move. And then we're looping around and making this play in the backfield. You see how 72, the guard, never recognizes me. And so I'm just easily able to make this play on the ball here in the backfield, right? If you are patient, you wait until the quarterback has the ball. You make run defense down in the red zone super, super easy, all right? And so that's really all it is, just looping around and making these tackles in the backfield, because the most important thing, like I said, is stopping the run. But then you need to worry about the RPO. Just like a play like this, right, where they have some options, right, if they wanted to put their man on a flat route, right, if they wanted to call a drag, right, so they have some options here, but it's still the same thing, where you're just looping around and trying to make these plays in the backfield. So you see how I'm trying to bring this guy down, because I'm always ready to stop the run if they call a run or if they call an RPO. And so again, you look at the instant replay right here, our RPO defense is pretty good right here. Boom. And we're just able to take that away. Now, I would put hard flats on the field every single time. So I would shade down. I would have my hard flats in case they called an RPO to help you defend the pass. But you're just able to see how it doesn't really matter, because now they're going to actually have to pass the ball. You see how it becomes, you stop the run, you stop the run, you stop the run. Now you force them to actually drop back pass. And so how do you defend that, BLT? Well, you get really aggressive. You understand that they don't have a whole lot of room down here to pass the ball. So now you can get really aggressive, cross-manning their tight end or cross-manning their running back, right? Something like this. You can man your top safety onto their slot receiver, right? And you can have a man dropping in a hook. So, I mean, they're just going to call a random pass play. And you're going to see how if I just use her this dig, there's nowhere really for them to go with the football, right? Because, again, there's no, the end zone acts as another defender, the back of the end zone. So, again, you're just getting really aggressive cross-manning guys when they need to be cross-manned, right? Because no one's really going to call shrieks down in the red zone, because they're just going to run out of the back of the end zone. So again, right here, just get kind of aggressive. I don't even know what play they're calling right here. I don't know, maybe we cross-man him. Maybe we do something like this, right? Okay, boom. They're going to bring their guy in motion. I'm still ready to stop the run, though, just so you guys know. And it is a run, and so we're right there to make that play before, or I guess he falls in the end zone. But honestly, I was holding 2 controllers there. But that's what I'm talking about, where it's like you have to eat. I don't know what play they're calling, but I'm still ready to stop the run. So again, right here, play action. We're here where I'm over the middle. I'm having a good user. Then I would probably come down, go get the quarterback myself. And now we have a successful rep on defense. So something that not a lot of people will tell you about, how to stop or RPOs, stop the run. But everything comes back to those things when you get down in the red zone. Force them to pass the ball, and then get really aggressive with your coverage. All right, if you enjoyed that breakdown of the nickel 3-3 Cub, a full guide, red zone defense, run defense, how to stop the pass, best blitzes, everything that you need, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. I break down defensive tips and tricks just like this every single day here on CFB 26, and you're not going to miss out on any of them. But again, if you want my full 3-2-6 defensive book, which covers this 3-3 Cub formation and a ton of others with full videos, write-ups, and screenshots, go to the link down below in the pinned comment. Grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. If you want to see me run that defense in action in a live action game, check out this video. I'll see you over there. Peace.